Hello, my name is Amanda Miller, and I'll be persuading you today on why art and creative activities should be more involved in schools. Have found that a dominance of one side of the brain or the other affects how a person learns information and skills. Kids are being given more and more homework and less free time in their everyday lives. On top of being at school, learning for 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, the homework they are given to complete at home cuts into meals, family time, and free time before bed, just to start it all over again. As the majority of education in schools is most effective for left brain dominant children, there needs to be a change to make sure that all children at the end of the day are learning the same information. What I'm going to try to persuade to you today is that art and creativity is very important for the brain. Art related programs need to remain in schools rather than be cut from their budget, and that keeping creativity in schools helps children take a break from textbook learning and gives them the opportunity to be creative and expressive. This topic is very important to me because I see that my little sister has had more and more homework each year and less art or anything relatively creative. I notice that she gets bored easily, and that also gets her very cranky due to the amount of boring homework, as she would call it. I feel that if teachers incorporated more creative ways for kids to learn, they wouldn't be bored and would retain more information. Now let's move to my first point. Teachers need to incorporate more fun and creative ways to get kids interested in what they are teaching, and that learning new things can be fun and exciting. Creativity does not involve a single region or single side of the brain. Most kids, when they hear the words, "We're going to be starting a new chapter today," groan because that means more memorization on a topic that they don't find interesting. When the teachers don't have the children's interest, they aren't learning. They tend to be in trouble, therefore, grades drop, and the kids don't enjoy school anymore because they feel lost and feel like failures. I have seen this firsthand with my little sister. She's in second grade, and ever since kindergarten, she has always been top of her class. She loves school, but now she loathes it because she's always bored. She doesn't remember what the teachers taught her that day, but she remembers what they did at recess, in art class, or science class. This is supported by neuroscientists with how the brain truly works. The latest findings from Real Neuroscience of Creativity suggest that the right/left brain distinction does not offer us the full picture of how creativity is implemented in the brain. New studies have found that the old assumption the left side of the brain is used during mathematics and science related problems, while the right side is used during musical and artistic situations, is partially wrong. The entire creative process, from preparation to interacting to incubation and illumination to verification, consists of many interacting cognitive processes, both conscious and unconscious, and emotions. Depending on the stage of the creative process and what you're exactly attempting to create, different brain regions are recruited to handle the task at hand. Many of these brain regions work as a team to get the job done and recruit structures from both the left and right side of the brain. These facts bring me to where teachers can effortlessly incorporate the fun creative side with the factual learning side. Teachers need to implement more creative and interactive ways to get kids interested in learning and exploring new information. Getting straight A's doesn't mean that the students are actually learning something. American students have become very stressed with the amount of homework that they receive every day from all of their classes. American teachers load the information onto the students and assign readings and homework assignments, and then require all that information to be retained and applied to multiple tests that have a hefty amount of questions for such a short amount of time for the test. Finland schools have been trying for the last 40 years on changing the learning curve to better the students' capabilities of learning information. There are no mandated standardized tests in Finland, apart from one single exam at the end of the student's senior year in high school. There are no rankings, no comparisons or competition between students, schools, or regions. Their schools are publicly funded by educators, not business people, military leaders, or career politicians. Comparing Finland's educational system with the American system, 93% graduate high school. That's 17.5% higher than the US, and 66% go on to higher education. Yet, Finland spends about 30% less per student in the US than the US. This goes to show that children do not need to have their heads shoved into a book to learn information. In fact, it's causing the opposite, and kids dread the action of learning new information. Schools are focusing way too much on getting higher test scores to be the best in the region, when all they are truly doing is mentally exhausting the kids. Children are capable of great things, and when they are young, their creativity is limitless. Yet they are taught to shut it off because it's distracting from their studies and homework. Kids are not pushed or allowed to be creative. They can't wander and find information through exploration. They are taught to find it in a specific way, or else it is wrong, according to American schools. All schools are aware of the problem they are facing, yet no action is being taken. Finland schools took the time to adjust their teaching regimen, and they found the answer. All that needs to be done now is more schools to follow their footsteps because they found what was working. If this course of action is taken, kids can learn more quickly and remember information more easily. If teaching strategies are kept as they stand now, kids will continue to feel overwhelmed, lost, and stressed due to the overload of content and lack of interest. Using teaching techniques that involve objects and aids that can be touched and manipulated help all children learn using visual because we are visual beings. Using real money or blocks when doing simple sums helps the children engage with the activity and help remain focused. Children work well to goals because that accomplishment gives them the confidence in knowing that they can learn new things and it was fun and exciting in the process. Images and drawings are interesting to look at, so why not incorporate them into lessons? Letting the kids look at what they are being taught gives them a higher chance of remembering the information because in their brain they linked that image to the information you are teaching, and it is stored together in the brain. Teachers can be partial to blame to the student's lack of interest. If the teacher isn't interested or enthusiastic about their lesson, why should the students be? How the teacher delivers the lesson is just as important as the information itself. Not all teachers have this problem, but that's because they enjoy the subject that they are teaching and want their students to enjoy it just as much as they do. Changing the teaching style and bringing creativity and interactive study activities more into the teaching regimen would be very beneficial for American schools. Change is good. Most people don't feel that way, but change is very good. There would be a huge rate of success for schools and more creative freedom for the kids. To summarize, kids are being given more homework and less free time in their everyday lives. Teachers need to incorporate more fun and creative ways to get kids interested in what they are teaching, and that learning new things can be fun and exciting. Teachers need to implement more creative and interactive ways to get kids interested in learning and exploring new information. If action is taken by following Finland's example, kids can learn more quickly and remember information easily. The action that needs to be taken is by the parents. Parents need to help their kids' learning experience something that they won't come to dread. Whether it be exploring at home to make it interesting, talking to the school board, or even signing a petition with other parents and taking it to the board and changing the teaching style. Any action taken will help children to have a better and more exciting day at school while still learning new information. So if you have kids, planning on having kids, have nieces, nephews, etc., Think about their future now. Take action now to avoid problems later. It only takes one person to take the first step for the rest to follow. Thank you.